Appetizers are on deck, people. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Rainier, and it's college football. Week 0 is your appetizer week before we really get flowing into the big games and the big conferences, and away we go. So excitement for the level of just watching football on your TV, it is nice. And you don't have to wait around long. Like Iowa State and Kansas State is a top 25 battle between number 22 Iowa State and number 17 Kansas State. It is overseas, but it does start at noon, which is something to that I like, Joe. They don't just give you give me a random game. Like, they are starting off with at least something you can put on your TV and sink your teeth into. So there's that. And the same way with Fox, the big game, Fox's big 12 o'clock game, whatever they call it these days. I do like that. I don't like waiting around for big things to happen. I like them right off the bat. And at least the best game of week 0 is going to be game number 1. I can get down with that.
Yeah, and listen, I love it. Big 12 on center stage in Dublin with, two well-known coaches. And the reason I like it, Donnie, is we have two teams with returning quarterbacks under center.
Yes,
these aren't unknown commodities. We've got teams offensively that are ready to go here and really take the next step there. Beckett with Iowa State. Guys are expecting big things from him this year. You've got now the quarterback at Kansas State who opened up a ton of eyeballs last year. This is going to be a legit game that isn't at a conference either. This is a conference game, and it's just one of a handful that we're going to get here on this week 0 slate across the board.
Yeah, you look at that in Kansas State, you're right. And sometimes, I sort of shade to one side when it's okay, coming back game number 1, how does that figure out? And you're right. It's quarterbacks coming back that at the moment is not too big from, oh, man, I didn't expect the game to be that fast in the first quarter. These guys have played a lot of football, but sometimes I look at the quarterback that's going to give me both options. Rocco Beck's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, for Iowa State. We look at Avery Johnson, it's hey, you know what? He can throw it a little bit, and he can run it a little bit. So anytime that you see, and the one thing I can't say enough, whenever games are played overseas, the one thing you have to always bring into question is not the weather itself. It's the field. Is it a skating rink? Because if you have a quarterback that's built on, I can make quick moves and quick cuts, and the field is slippery, that's not going to work. But if there is a little bit of slickness out there that he can keep his feet, that means long runs could possibly be broken in this one. So I do like that from a perspective. If we're looking from the odds market, Joe, opening numbers on this game, 3.5. FanDuel still sits at a 3.5. Other outlets, DraftKings, BetMGM, Bet365, even in Vegas at the Westgate, all listed at 3s here. And you take a look at the total, 49.5, still sitting at 49.5 across the board. We don't get to see these guys, Joe, in a preseason, but it is nice to have quarterbacks that have been there before, and the expectations should be there that we don't get a slop fest football game unless we have an ice skating rink, which could be a possibility.
Yeah, and Iowa State, by the way, beat Kansas State last year 29-21 and finished the season 11-3. I mean, it was a good year. And you mentioned not only Rocco Becht coming back, but 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen from a year ago are returning for Iowa State, which in this day and age of transfer portal, NIL, to keep the 4 out of 5 of your offensive linemen to return is kind of crazy when you think about it here. But you mentioned it. Avery Johnson is all about the dual threat here. And if the field and the conditions call for it, then this is a guy that can beat you with his legs. No problem at all. Biggest question mark for Iowa State is going to be the defensive side. The biggest question mark for Kansas State is, all right, Avery Johnson, but what else you got? Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll from a year ago. They're now on the Houston Texans, so that's an entirely new wide receiving crew for Kansas State. I think that is going to be an interesting look here to see exactly how many points are we getting in this game.
3.5, 49.5. Do we go to 55.5? Do we go to 60 in this game? Let's get some offensive fireworks. By the way, also another Lockett on deck there that's going to be playing key minutes here this year for Kansas State. I mean, just run them out there, boys. Run them out there and play some football. And also from Kansas State's perspective, supposed to get a little bit more up-tempo offense possibly, because whenever you talk about the little apple there, it's hey, we run the football with an athletic quarterback. let's throw it a little bit more this year and see if we can have that work out in our favor. Other games, now you might take a nap the rest of the day. You might have all your energy burned up by noon with how excited you are for the college football return season. Now you have Fresno State at Kansas, Stanford and Hawaii, Idaho State, UNLV, Sam Houston State, and Western Kentucky to finish out your day.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of action coming in on the Rainbow Warriors taking on the Stanford Cardinals. And this game is being bet all summer long, Donnie, and I get it. Timmy Chang, the former Hawaii quarterback who took over the Warriors over now his third season here. He's got a lot of returning guys. He's got a lot of athletes here, and Stanford is a hot mess. I mean, Frank Wright had to come in, and Andrew Luck had to come in to save this Stanford football, we're talking about controversy and drama, not something you would expect, but in Hawaii, a lot of people betting Hawaii to open up the year with a win.
By the way, Hawaii I always used to get a kick out of because, like, growing up in high school, Hawaii was a pretty decent deal. And also throughout, I would say, like the early 2000s, the Timmy Chang years and such, they've always had Colt Brennan, I think it was, always had really good quarterbacks where they would be that game at 10:30 to watch at night. And teams like, you know what? That's a fun system to play in, the June Jones, like, air raid offense. But in order to go to Hawaii on a recruiting trip, you have to commit to the university as you're going there. Otherwise, kids are like, hey, my fifth trip's going to be out to Hawaii. I'll spend the weekend out there, just get shown the campus, and I'll get to see Hawaii and come home. Yeah, they were on to that game. They said, no, you're not coming out here unless you're, like, signed on the dotted line. So you better like what we actually provide here today for this. Iowa State again, UNLV. Dan Mullen, 25.5-point favorite. How about that? Big Dan's back in town.
Yeah, he is. And I got to tell you, the Kansas, too. I think remember how Kansas has been over the last couple of seasons? Everyone all excited about Kansas football. Don't know. They lost a lot. They could be back to, Kansas football. Do they play football? I thought it was a basketball school.
By the way, who was the big coach? Was it Mangio was the name? Who was the guy that had a little success with them back there, the big boy on the sidelines? I think it was Mangio back in the day. I could be saying his name wrong, but that's what I remember. Kansas, they were in the Orange Bowl at one point, man. Woo, look at that football school rolling away. Who says you have to go play in the fog, man? Get on that football field and have some fun.